Hi everyone, welcome Multiverse. Today we will talk about he is a genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, and one of the most iconic heroes of modern cinema. But Iron Man's road to superstardom wasn't built in a day. From failed TV attempts in the 1970s, to Robert Downey Jr.'s game-changing performance that launched the Marvel Cinematic Universe and beyond. This is the complete story of Iron Man on screen from 1977 to 2025. Start video. Iron Man 2008, directed by Jon Favreau. This film launched the Marvel Cinematic Universe (MCU) and made Robert Downey Jr. a superstar. Origin. Tony Stark is a billionaire genius, CEO of Stark Industries, and a playboy weapons manufacturer. While demonstrating new missiles in Afghanistan, he is ambushed by terrorists, the Ten Rings. He is critically injured by shrapnel near his heart. In captivity, fellow prisoner Ho Yinsen implants an electromagnet powered by a small arc reactor to keep Tony alive. First armor, Tony builds a crude iron suit with Yinsen to escape. Sacrifices himself so Tony can survive. Tony returns home deeply changed, realizing his weapons have caused destruction. Becoming Iron Man, Tony perfects his suit design, sleek, red and gold, and becomes Iron Man, secretly fighting terrorism and shutting down his company's weapons division. Villain, Obadiah Stane. Tony's mentor and business partner, Obadiah Stane, is revealed to be behind the ambush. He builds his own massive armor, the Ironmonger suit, to kill Tony and take control of Stark Industries. Ending. At a press conference, instead of hiding his identity, Tony boldly declares, "I am Iron Man." Post-credit scene, Nick Fury tells Tony about the Avengers initiative. Iron Man 2 2010, directed by Jon Favreau. This is the second movie in the Iron Man trilogy. 2 years later, Iron Man 2 continued the story. Tony Stark's struggles. After revealing to the world that he is Iron Man, Tony Stark becomes both a celebrity and a target. The government demands he hand over his armor technology. Meanwhile, the arc reactor in his chest is slowly poisoning him due to palladium toxicity. New villain, Whiplash Ivan Vanko. Ivan Vanko, a Russian scientist whose father once worked with Howard Stark, builds electric whips powered by arc reactor technology. He attacks Tony during a Formula One race in Monaco. Tony defeats him, but realizes others can copy his tech. Justin Hammer, a rival weapons manufacturer. Justin Hammer frees Vanko and funds him to build drones and a more powerful suit to outshine Stark Industries. Rhodey gets War Machine. Tony's best friend, James Rhodes. Rhodey takes one of Tony's suits to stop his reckless behavior. The suit is later upgraded by the US military into War Machine. Black Widow and Nick Fury. Tony meets Natasha Romanoff. Black Widow, who secretly works for Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D., they help Tony discover a solution to his poisoning by creating a new element based on his father's hidden research. Final battle. At the Stark Expo, Vanko unleashes his drones and a giant armored suit to fight Iron Man and War Machine. After a big battle, Tony and Rhodey team up to destroy the drones. They finally defeat Vanko together. Ending. Tony survives, with his new element powering his arc reactor. Nick Fury tells him he is not yet ready for the Avengers, but they will use him as a consultant.
Get down!
The Avengers 2012. In 2012, Iron Man stood side by side with Earth's mightiest heroes in the Avengers. Directed by Joss Whedon, this film unites Earth's mightiest heroes for the first time. Tony Stark's role. After Iron Man 2 2010, Tony is living as a billionaire hero, working closely with Pepper Potts. He is recruited by Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D. to join the Avengers initiative when Loki, Thor's brother, threatens Earth. With an alien invasion, the Chitauri team conflicts. Tony's sarcastic, ego-driven personality causes clashes with Captain America, Thor, and even Bruce Banner Hulk. He mocks Cap for being old-fashioned. He has a science bro friendship with Banner. He questions S.H.I.E.L.D.'s motives. The helicarrier attack. When Loki's plan creates chaos aboard S.H.I.E.L.D.'s flying helicarrier, Tony and Cap work together to repair the damaged engine. Showing Tony's growing sense of teamwork, the New York battle final fight. Loki opens a portal above New York City, unleashing the Chitauri army. The Avengers fight together for the first time. Iron Man fights the alien forces with his advanced suits and weapons. He has a pivotal moment of bravery. He grabs a nuclear missile launched by the World Security Council and flies it through the portal into the alien mothership. The mothership explodes, disabling the Chitauri. Tony nearly dies as his suit loses power and he falls back to Earth, but the Hulk saves him. Ending. Tony realizes he's part of a team now, not just a solo hero. The Avengers become Earth's protectors, and Tony bonds especially with Cap and Banner.
Okay.
Iron Man 3, 2013, directed by Shane Black. This is the final solo Iron Man movie, and shows Tony Stark's struggle after the events of the Avengers 2012. Tony's trauma, after nearly dying in New York, carrying the nuke into space. Tony suffers from PTSD, panic attacks, and insomnia. He buries himself in building dozens of new Iron Man suits to feel safe. The Mandarin threat. A terrorist called the Mandarin launches bombings across America. Tony publicly challenges him, which leads to his Malibu mansion being destroyed in a missile strike. Tony barely survives and crash lands in Tennessee with a damaged suit. Maya Hansen and Extremis. Tony learns that a scientist, Aldrich Killian, has developed Extremis, a dangerous regenerative treatment that gives people super strength and fiery powers, but it's unstable. The Mandarin twist. Tony discovers that the Mandarin is actually an actor named Trevor Slattery, hired by Killian to distract the world, while Killian secretly runs Extremis operations. Pepper in danger. Killian kidnaps Pepper Potts and injects her with Extremis to force Tony into helping him. Final Battle House Party Protocol. Tony calls in all of his Iron Man suits, controlled by Jarvis, to fight Killian's Extremis soldiers in a huge battle at the shipping yard. Rhodey War Machine Iron Patriot joins him. Pepper, using Extremis powers, defeats Killian by killing him with an explosive strike. Ending. Tony destroys all his suits, to show Pepper she is more important than his armor. He undergoes surgery to remove the shrapnel from his chest, no longer needing the arc reactor. He says, "I am Iron Man," proving the hero is more than just the suit. Avengers, Age of Ultron 2015, directed by Joss Whedon. This is Iron Man's major turning point in the MCU opening. Tony Stark rejoins the Avengers to take down HYDRA's base in Sokovia. During the mission, he is haunted by Scarlet Witch's vision of the Avengers dead and Earth destroyed. Ultron creation. Fearing another alien attack like in New York, Tony convinces Bruce Banner to help him create a global defense program. They use Loki's scepter, which holds the Mind Stone, to build Ultron, an AI designed to protect Earth. But Ultron becomes self-aware, sees humanity as the biggest threat, and rebels against them. Conflict within the team. Other Avengers blame Tony for creating Ultron. His reckless decisions create mistrust, especially with Captain America. Planting seeds for civil war. Tony insists everything he does is to protect the world from destruction. Hulkbuster, fight Hulk versus Iron Man. When Scarlet Witch manipulates Hulk into a destructive rage, Tony deploys his Hulkbuster armor, Veronica. They battle across a city in one of the movie's biggest action scenes. Tony barely subdues Hulk, but the destruction causes global outrage. Final battle in Sokovia. Ultron tries to destroy humanity by lifting Sokovia into the sky and dropping it like a meteor. Iron Man helps lead the Avengers in evacuating civilians and fighting Ultron's army of robots. Tony ultimately helps Thor channel energy into Vision's birth another creation using the Mind Stone. In the climax, Iron Man helps destroy the Machine Core and prevents Earth's extinction. Ending, the Avengers lose Quicksilver, but they save the world. Tony decides to retire temporarily, leaving new Avengers Vision, Scarlet Witch, Falcon, War Machine, to train under Cap.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Captain America, Civil War 2016. Captain America, Civil War. Tony Stark faced his toughest battle, not against aliens, but against his friend Steve Rogers. Most important roles in the MCU. The Sokovia Accords. After the destruction caused by the Avengers, New York, Sokovia, and Lagos, the UN creates the Sokovia Accords, a law that would control and regulate superheroes. Tony Stark, Iron Man, supports the Accords because he feels responsible for Ultron's creation and the collateral damage the Avengers caused. Steve Rogers, Captain America, opposes them, believing heroes must stay free to act without government control. This divides the Avengers into Team Iron Man versus Team Cap. Tony's motivation. Tony is confronted by a grieving mother who lost her son in Sokovia, deepening his guilt. He sees the Accords as a way to make things right and prevent future Team Iron Man versus Team Cap airport battle. Tony recruits Spider-Man and Black Panther, alongside War Machine, Black Widow, and Vision. Cap's team includes Falcon, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Winter Soldier, and Ant-Man. At the airport in Germany, one of the MCU's most iconic fights happens. Though played with some humor, it ends tragically when War Machine Rhodey is paralyzed after Vision accidentally the truth about the Winter Soldier. Iron Man learns that the true mastermind, Baron Zemo, only wanted to split the Avengers. But Zemo reveals footage that shows Bucky Barnes' Winter Soldier killed Tony's parents in 1990. This shatters Tony emotionally. Iron Man vs. Cap and Bucky, final fight in Siberia in a brutal emotional battle. Kills Bucky after yelling, "He killed my mum." Cap defeats Tony by disabling his armor, but spares Pym. He leaves behind his shield, symbolizing their broken friendship. Ending, the Avengers are fractured. Avengers, Infinity War 2018, directed by the Russo brothers. This movie is one of Iron Man's biggest and most emotional arcs. Tony's life with Pepper. At the start, Tony Stark is living peacefully in New York with Pepper Potts and even talks about marriage and children. But his peace is interrupted when Doctor Strange and Bruce Banner Hulk warn him that Thanos is coming to Earth for the Infinity Stones. Battle of New York Round 2. The Black Order, Thanos children, attack New York to steal the Time Stone from Doctor Strange. Tony suits up in his new bleeding-edge nanotech armor, Mark L, and fights alongside Spider-Man, Wong, and Strange. They manage to protect Strange but are pulled onto an alien spaceship heading for Titan, Thanos' home planet. On Titan, Tony teams up with Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and the Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis, Nebula. Together, they devise a plan to trap Thanos and remove the Infinity Gauntlet. They almost succeed until Star-Lord loses control after learning Thanos killed Gamora, breaking the plan. Tony versus Thanos, epic duel. The team fights bravely, but Thanos proves unstoppable. Tony unleashes everything. His nanotech suit has powerful repulsors, blades, and even a massive hammer arm. In one of the most iconic MCU moments, Tony makes Thanos bleed, to which Thanos says, "All that for a drop of blood." Thanos overpowers Tony, stabbing him in the abdomen with his own nanotech blade. Doctor Strange, despite vowing to protect the Time Stone at all costs, surrenders it to Thanos in exchange for sparing Tony's life. Aftermath, Thanos completes the gauntlet and snaps his fingers. Tony watches in horror as Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis, and Strange turn to dust. Left stranded on Titan with only Nebula, Tony is devastated and broken.
Where'd that come from?
It's nanotech. You like it?
You throw another moon at me.
Avengers Endgame 2019, directed by the Russo brothers. This film is Tony Stark's last and most emotional chapter in the MCU. After the snap, 2018, Tony is stranded in space with Nebula aboard the Benatar. He records a heartbreaking farewell message to Pepper Potts, believing he will die. Just before his oxygen runs out, Captain Marvel rescues him and brings him back to Earth. Our retirement and family life. Unlike other Avengers who struggle with loss, Tony chooses peace. He marries Pepper, and they have a daughter, Morgan Stark. He refuses to risk his new family when the Avengers propose a time heist to undo Thanos' snap. The time heist, Tony eventually agrees, realizing he can't rest until he tries. He perfects time travel and joins the Avengers on missions to retrieve the Infinity Stones from the past. In 2012 New York, he has a funny encounter with his younger self and also gets closure with his father, Howard Stark, in 1970. The final battle, after Hulk restores everyone with the stones, Thanos' past version arrives with his full army. Tony fights alongside all Avengers, including Spider-Man. His emotional reunion is powerful. Thanos proves nearly unstoppable, defeating even Captain Marvel. Tony's sacrifice. In the final moment, Doctor Strange signals to Tony that this is the one winning outcome. Tony bravely pulls the Infinity Stones from Thanos' gauntlet, using his nanotech suit. He declares the legendary words, "I am Iron Man." With a snap of his fingers, he wipes out Thanos and his entire army, saving the universe. The power is too great, and Tony dies peacefully surrounded by Pepper, Rhodey, and Peter Parker. Legacy. The Avengers hold a quiet funeral for Tony. His arc, from a selfish playboy to a selfless savior, ends with ultimate heroism. His daughter Morgan remembers him with the line, "I love you 3000. From a shelved project in the 70s to Marvel's biggest cinematic icon, Tony Stark's Iron Man changed superhero movies forever. He wasn't born a god. He wasn't injected with a serum. He was a man, brilliant, flawed, human, who built his legacy with his own hands. And though his story ended in Endgame, his influence will live on forever. After all, Iron Man isn't just a hero. He's the one who started it all.